Traders, Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com on January 4th, 2015. In this video, we are going to cover the bullish and bearish scenarios that we're looking at on spiders. Tick cumulative with that tepid bull cross that we saw on Friday gave us a buy signal, and NYSE continues to be on a buy signal as well. We're going to focus on STO and MACD, and then we're going to talk about seasonality in the first 4 months of 2015. We're going to talk about setups. The divergence in WTIC on the daily chart is giving us a bullish divergence, so we'll be looking at some of the stocks in that group as well. Focusing on the daily chart for a moment, we have this volume by price bar right here between 204.25 and 205.25. We saw some buying come in late in the day on Friday and push prices back up in between the two moving averages. Reversed on the 17th, came back up, broke through that area again, came up to the highs, put in a higher high, and then we tested that on Friday and bounced. So currently we're watching this divergence as well as MACD histogram. Tomorrow what we want to see from a bullish scenario is histogram move in the bullish direction. If that doesn't happen, we could see further downside as the slower STO will get further momentum to the downside. So that's what we're watching on the daily. Now let's take a look at the fibs. We see the 382 right at the bottom of this volume by price bar. We have the 50 period moving average moving up underneath price, and we bounced right here at the 20 period. So that's looking good on the daily. Let's take a look at the 60-minute, which we can see that area where we lost support, came back, broke through it, and then moved back above that level and then found support here again. Now note this candle right here at the end of the day. We tagged the bottom of this volume by price bar and then moved off of that. So we had something of a spinning top in the last hour of the day on the spiders. Note MACD histogram is moving to the upside, so that's why we're watching the daily histogram, thinking that we could go positive. The slow STO 14 period looks like it wants to give us a buy signal, with the 5-1 already moving off of the lows on Friday. Now with regard to the comp, you see some notes that we put down here on Friday. We had this volume by price pocket, Kirby pocket right here. We bounced right at that level. We tagged it 50% level, and we have the 50 period moving average moving up as well. Bollinger Bands are flat, so this could go either way. Note MACD 1226.9 did go somewhat negative on Friday, but it's a very tepid move to the downside with slow STO already in the oversold territory. So we could see this turn back up on Monday. Looking at the comp 60-minute chart, we see the same thing. We pushed outside of the lower Bollinger Band. We see MACD turning as well, just like the spiders, and we have slow STO 5-1 already starting to move higher, just like the spiders. So if tech continues to look good this week, we could see the SPY and the comp both moving to the upside on Monday. Looking at a chart of the Dow Industrials, note the spinning top here. We came right down to the 20 period moving average, and we put in a spinning top long-legged doji on Friday. Note where slow STO is, we're oversold. We could see this turn back up easily on Monday. And we tested the 382 Fibonacci levels. Let's take a look at the sector performance on Friday. Ranking by percent change, we can see that energy and utilities had quite a nice day, as well as healthcare. So we'll be looking at those sectors in particular when we're thinking about setups going into Monday. Looking at energy, again, sorting by percent change, we see coal, pipelines, exploration and production, integrated oil, oil equipment and services, and renewable energy. Let's take a look at the RRG sector rotation. Now, if we scrub the bar here, since October, you can see right here, the October bottom, watch what sectors improve, which become leading, which become a weakening sector, and which become lagging. XLE has been lagging for some time, and we can see it bouncing along the bottom, and then lately it's turned up. So it's starting to improve. XLB is starting to improve, and these sectors continue to lead in terms of sector performance. We can also look at Friday, the percent change, and ranking. So what we'll be looking at is the energy sector and XLU for setups going into this week. Now, looking at seasonality on a monthly basis going back 10 years, we can readily see that February, March, and April have the best percentage months with respect to closing higher than it opened for the month. January is at 45%, and then February and March are both 70%, and of course April being the highest at 80%. So these 3 months look really good for the year. Now if we sort this since 2009, we can see 83% for February, March, and April. Percentage-wise looks pretty good. And then 43 for January. So there is a possibility we could see a pullback in January with a higher percent probability that we're going to see higher prices in February, March, and April. Let's take a look at the divergence that I was pointing out on WTIC. You can see very readily that we put in lower prices while stochastics gave us a divergence, a bullish divergence, with a higher low in December of 2015. So this isn't a guarantee, but I'm watching this divergence for a possibility that we could move back to the upside. Note this Kirby area here where we could see prices have moved down very quickly. So we could see a move to the upside with a target of 75.25 before we start to see increased resistance. So let's take a look at some setups. We can go through our chart lists, and we'll go down to the sector XLE, and we'll look at these stocks. Devon Energy moved off of these lows, flagged out above the 50-period moving average and this volume by price bar. This was probably going to do a little bit better in the exploration and production group. KMI is one we traded last time this broke out of this channel slash wedge. Came up, retested this trend line, and then we bought on the rebound, and this took off for another 5 or 6 points to the upside. Note the flag here at the upper Bollinger Band, waiting for stochastics to turn. MACD is already headed back up, so this is looking pretty good going into the week. Kinder Morgan. Marathon Oil, MRO, also looks pretty decent. Note the lows here. Note the volume. Prices pushed back up a nice 3 or 4 points, flagged out. We're sitting right on the 10-period EMA, the 20-period, and Bollinger Bands are starting to come back together. Stowe is starting to turn, and MACD is headed higher. So this is looking pretty good as well. MPC, Marathon Petroleum Corp, in the integrated oil and gas sector. You can see prices move back above the 50-period moving average. Bollinger Bands are starting to move back together. We are somewhat overbought. MACD is continuing to move higher. we get back above this volume by price level, this could continue to move higher up to this upper Bollinger Band, conceivably. Pioneer Natural Resources, PXD, looking decent. Moved off the lows, flagging out here above the 10 period EMA. We have this volume pocket. Resistance up here at 165-ish. Bollinger Bands are somewhat tight. Slow stow is getting oversold and turning, and MACD is above its signal line. Rowan Companies, RDC, looks pretty good as well. Note the volume by price bar here. Price is flagging off of this bounce off of the 1950 level. A fairly inexpensive stock at 23.50. A break above these levels here on volume would be a nice indication that we're going to see upside. Slow stow turn back up. MACD is above its signal line. And prices are above all of the moving averages. First target looks like just above the volume by price level and the 25 area on RDC. Tesoro Petroleum, TSO. Nice little channel here, moved above, retested the breakout. It's above the volume by price level. Slow still looks like it could turn, looking for volume. And MACD looks pretty decent as well. Looking at Valero, VLO, above the 50 period, the 10, and the 20. Slow looks like it wants to turn, and MACD is moving above the zero line. MACD is above its signal line as well. First target looks like the upper Bollinger Band at 52. A breakout above this level, we could see 54 fairly readily. And also note the volume by price bar here at 50.50. So looking at some additional stocks that are in other sectors, note XLK here, the technology sector. Remember, we were talking about comp. If we scrub back, we can see it was leading at one point back in September. October, it got hit, weakened, and then we're watching this scroll back up and starting to head back into the leading sector. So watch XLK and some of the names in that sector. Let's take a look at some names. Fortinet and software. I noted the flag here off the 10 period EMA. Slow stow is getting to oversold territory, could turn back up, and we're watching MACD as well. Freescale Semiconductor, nice flag, tested the 20 period moving average here. The top of this volume by price level. There's a lot of support here, and this previous breakout level. So this could push back up to the upside. Note slow stow is already turning as well on Freescale Semiconductor. Let's take a look at the high tight flag scan. Interesting name here. In November, $2.60 ran up to $9.75 within 60 trading days. Looks like we're flagging out here. Need to do homework to find out if they have a product in the pipeline to warrant the increase in the number of shares that are being accumulated here, which is one of the criteria for a high type flag is a 100% increase in less than 60 trading days, and then a flag consolidation of a few days to a week or two for a push higher. ANW, a long that we spoke about back here at the 1025, 1050 level. When prices move off of these lows, we were looking for 14, which we've gotten. We did see some nice action here, and for some of you that took this long, looks pretty decent. Fold, playing around at these levels here. Triple top at the upper Bollinger Band. Slow stow continue to move higher. It looks like MACD is going to turn. ANIP, this one's moved sideways The stock was upgraded, moving sideways. We're looking for a move higher. MACD's turning. Avalanche Biotechnologies. This is new and an IPO from 22 up to 60, just about $60 in 4 or 5 months. Not bad. Bluebird. Cala. Note the pullback to the 20 period. If this pushes back above the 10 period EMA, this one could continue to move higher. Note slow stow, MACD's turning as well. Celadon. This one was on the scan several weeks ago, continuing to move higher. Nice little flag consolidation from 420, 380 back in the first week of November. Clear Channel, CCO, and the media and agencies group. Note $6.22 back in October within 70 or 80 days. DRNA, I mentioned this one on Friday, I believe. This nice flag into this 10 period EMA, and we're currently $1.50 off of that level if you took the trade. Slow stow turn back up, nice volume, and we're getting back above this volume by price bar. This one looks pretty decent. Could run higher fairly quickly. There's very little resistance here. E to open, holding the 10 period EMA. Note this big volume by price Kirby pocket. Slow stow needs to turn back up at MACD. Some nice charts here. You can see what this scan finds. Kite, we mentioned this one last week as well at 56. We're $4 above that level, continuing to move higher. 50 period moving average, marching higher, as well as a 10 and the 20. La Jolla Pharmaceuticals, interesting. This is new to the scan. MGNX, this one's been on for the last couple of weeks. Nephrogenics, don't know about this one. Office Depot flagging at the 10 period EMA. Looking interesting. Ova Science. Price is flagging sideways. Nice strong uptrend on the 50. Price is just above the 10 period EMA. And slow stow pointing to higher prices. Watch MACD. Planer, we pointed this one out. This breakout of this channel. Came back and tested the top of that channel. Looks like it's going to continue to move higher this week. New on the scan, semiconductors continue to move higher off of the 10 period EMA. Radius help. Nice little flag breaking higher. Slow stow pointing higher as well. Nice volume on a thinly traded stock. RLYP, we mentioned this one, just continued to move sideways at the 20 period moving average. Slow stow's turning back up. Rite Aid. Sierra Wireless trades both on the Toronto Exchange as well as the NASDAQ. Nice little flag here into the 10 period EMA. Watch for slow stow to turn back up. This one could continue to move higher on a break above that flag. SWIR. Code. Taser keeps moving higher. Tetraphase. Veronis, this is new. Nice low flag moving higher. 1750, 60 trading days previous, we got a flag. So 34 would be a double. Anywhere from 90 to 100% is a nice pull. I'd like to see more volume though, and find out what the stock does. Okay, so this is Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com. For you new traders, be sure to check out these top 5 or 6 videos, which will give you a better edge on understanding the markets, taking setups, and where to position yourself for the highest risk reward on your trade. In addition, if you don't subscribe to the blog, this is a spam-free site. Enter your email address in here and you can get these delivered to your email every day. You'll note my tweets are here, the watch list for the week or the day. You can just scroll down through these to keep in track of the trades that we're looking at, whether they're high type flags or Bollinger Band setups. It's also a place for me to document the trades and thoughts going into the weeks. So I hope this helps. Take care. We'll talk to you on the stream on Monday.